In today's video, I'm going to explain how I caught a Roblox PDF file in real time. Now before we begin, be sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and click that bell. Now typically I usually make gaming content or gaming videos, because that's what my channel is about, but sometimes I'll mix it up a little bit. Now in this case, I got caught up in quite the case. Now unlike everybody else, I decided to take matters into my own hands. So I'm just going to dive straight into the video. This is how I confronted a Roblox predator. Stay tuned for the end, where I try to confront the predator myself. I have yet to record that whole interaction yet. In fact, I'm actually pre-recording all of this before I do it. So anyways, again, not to go off subject, let's get straight into the video, no sugarcoat. This all started when I decided to talk to one of my friends again in Mic Up. I got bored one night and decided to play Mic Up for the first time in months. So I thought it would be perfect to hit my friend, aka the victim in the story. Now in this video, we're going to call the victim Holiday for safety reasons. You see, Holiday is a minor. Not only is Holiday a minor, but it is a girl. Now Holiday is under the age of 16 and likes to play Roblox. When I hit her up to talk to her again to play Mic Up, she joined and we played normally. You know, interacting with people, sharing stories, you know, yada yada yada. Until eventually she brought somebody up. You see, Holiday explained that she had met somebody. Another girl to be exact. Which, plot twists, this other girl is the predator we are catching. So we'll get to that in a second. She explained that she had met this person in another Roblox VC game like Neighbors. If you don't know what Neighbors is, it's basically a game like Omegle. You get put into a house and the game will generate somebody to talk to you. It randomizes people in the lobby so you're talking to real people in real time. And it just so happened that this person had met Holiday. Holiday explained this person like a true angel. She was very nice, very caring, and didn't give off bad vibes at all. And overall was just a good friend. After hearing about this, I thought it was pretty cool. Holiday was making friends on Roblox. Cool. Alright, nothing strange going on here. But of course, that's what I thought, and I was wrong. Fast forward a day or two later, I ended up talking to Holiday once more. We were playing Mic Up again, and then we ended up going into like a please donate server afterward because she was making a deal with somebody, I don't know. But she basically tells me that this person that she had met, or the predator in this case, in which we are going to call Voodoo just for now. Turns out that Voodoo here ended up giving Holiday over 10,000 Robux. And just for reference, that is over $100. Yes, over $100 worth of Robux. And it went straight to Holiday. Now, after finding this out, I was definitely a little shocked. You know, considering that's $100. Curiously, and I think normally, I asked about this person a little bit more. Soon to find out that Voodoo here is almost in her 20s. Now, if you're not connecting the dots already, this is a little strange. Voodoo, who is almost in her 20s, met this minor who is not even 16 yet. In a Roblox game called Neighbors. They become friends, and eventually after like 2 days of being friends, donates over $100 to her. So are you picking up what I'm putting down? This is a little strange. But of course it can be a very kind act, and I could be overreacting. Or so I thought. Oh no, it doesn't stop there, by the way. So I ended up overthinking it just a little bit, and didn't think much of it afterward. Now fast forward a couple days again. Now this is where things get very, very weird. Me and Holiday were texting on Discord. You know, just diddle-daddling, joking around, and having fun. She brings up the Robux once more, and I make another comment on it saying how it was definitely a little odd, but I didn't want to go too far. And this is where we bring in the DMs. Now we go on to the real photo proof. Now again, of course, I'm going to censor everything, the name and the profile, for safety reasons. I make little comments like, who spends that much on Roblox? And Holiday replies, Voodoo, she's on right now. So I decide to add a little bit of humor. I reply, I guess so. I'd never spend that much on a kid's game. She could buy herself a steak, low-key, but spends it on Headless and Robux. And if you don't know what Headless is, it's a very expensive item in Roblox that people wear as like an achievement of some kind, or a really cool fashion. Holiday makes light of it and goes, lol, it's okay, I don't know why though. And I go, yeah, well, tell me what you buy with it. You know, what you buy with the 10,000 Robux that she got. Holiday replies, okay, I will do that. Fast forward a day later. Again, me and Holiday chatted up. We say good morning and we have a whole conversation. And this is where things spiral down very quickly. And this is where the real suspicion comes in. Holiday texts me and goes, "Lol, Voodoo is on her alt account. She's making me act like her e-girl." And shows me image proof. And in this image, it shows Holiday's bio about, and it says Voodoo's girl. So I make a little comment and I go, "I'm starting to think Voodoo is obsessed with you for some reason." Because that's a very odd thing to do, especially giving you 10,000 Robux upon just meeting her in 2 days. So fast forward a couple minutes later, I end up putting together the pieces. So hold on, let me get this straight. Voodoo, who is almost going to be 20, is pretending to e-date a minor on Roblox, whilst on top of that spending hundreds of dollars on a game and you. Holiday replies, "Yes, but not all the time. We just got bored." So again, to not make things too serious, I add a little bit of comedy and send a gif of Bob. Then I proceed to say, "That's totally not a little strange." Holiday replies, "She's a girl." And I say, "And?" Then Holiday replies, "She's not weird." So we end up going off subject for a little bit and we talk about random stuff. Until eventually we come back into the conversation and she drops the craziest comment. She asked me to. Now things are really starting to come together. Again, just to recap, Voodoo, who had met Holiday, has a big age gap, within 2 days spends over $100 on her, then asks her to pretend to e-date her on Roblox. And on top of that, was the one who officially asked her to do it. So there's no ifs or buts, Voodoo was the one who asked. So I say, on top of that, she was the one who asked. Holiday explains that we were trolling her friend. So they did that to troll their friend. Now things kind of change a little bit. Maybe again, I was overreacting and I was just thinking too much of it. It was a silly prank on their little friend. But still, it was kind of itching me the wrong way. So I reply, "Please don't ever let me meet Voodoo anymore. I don't want beef, I'm a chill guy, but I'm 100% going to bring it up if I get the chance." You know, implying that I'm not going to start problems, but if I do see her, I'm definitely going to talk about it. So Holiday goes, "Alright, lol," and that was it. Fast forward a whole day later, and this was today, as of me making this video right now. Out of nowhere, she randomly texted me the next morning. Voodoo told me to not change it. A little confused, I said, "Not to change what?" And Holiday says, "My outfit in my bio." So, curiously, I said, "What's your bio? Let me see." And it was still the same thing, Voodoo's girl. But on top of that, I was starting to think that she was matching with Voodoo. Not because she wanted to, but she was forced to. I mean, why give her 10,000 Robux? So, I just instantly dropped the truth bomb. Bruh, I'ma keep it real. She's weird as hell. Just laying it flat. Now this is where things go my way. Turns out that Holiday kinda agreed with me. She said, "I didn't want to be rude, maybe I'll mention it tomorrow." So I calmly reply, which is respectful. I swear if that goes on where she's pretending to e-date a minor on Roblox and tells you not to change it for another day or two, there's gonna be a problem. Not with you, but with her. Holiday replies, I know. If she asks me to keep it any longer, I'm gonna say no." So it's very obvious that both Holiday and me are very concerned about it now. At first I thought I was overreacting, but then things started to pile on more and more, until eventually Holiday got a little creeped out. So I say, "I'm glad you have common sense. There's a line between jokes and fun, and it getting a little weird. I didn't care at first, but now it's odd." She replies, "I know." So I make another comment, as if she wasn't already suspicious from the joke, but now she wants to actually keep it, like TF. So Holiday replies, "Yes, I will ask her tomorrow." And I said, "What are you gonna ask her, just to clarify?" Now this is where my suspicion gets confirmed even further. Holiday says she'll tell her, "Why do I have to do this?" At first, it was to troll, but she wants to keep it. And again, if you're not really realizing or putting the dots together, this is very, very weird. and it's way beyond just a prank and for jokes, like it originally was supposed to be. So I say, yeah, and the troll I was gonna let slide, but at least you can actually see what I'm seeing from that. And I reply to her other message, that's a good question. Let me know what she says. I'll be out of town, so I won't be texting much for a couple days, but I'll get to you when I can. And that was the end of our conversation. I'm currently at that point where, yes, I am going out of town for a couple days, and I won't be able to keep up with what's going on. Now, before we fast forward a couple days later, where we gather more proof and evidence, and I eventually confront her, let's dissect a couple of things real quick. Make the obvious even more obvious. So we went over the whole thing with the age gap, and the Robux, and the pretending to fake e-date to troll a friend, yada yada yada. It got to a point where even after like a day or two later, it made Holiday uncomfortable. And like she said, with her own words, it was supposed to be a troll, but now she wants to keep it like this. Now, isn't that a little odd? So let's just say she were to make the excuse that it was for a prank or for a troll. Now we know that the prank and troll was already done. So why continue to fake e-date? As if faking an e-date with a minor on Roblox wasn't already weird enough, you want to continue to do it even after the prank. That is just flat out weird. And there's no defending that. It got to a point where I didn't want to meet Voodoo at all, but now that I thought about it, I for sure want to meet her. And I for sure want to confront her. This would be the first time I really confronted a situation like this head-on on video. I had already ran into a couple of issues with predators on Roblox. Like this one time I was in Mic Up like a year ago. There was this stand that said, I like little children or I like kids. It was somewhere on the lines of that. Now, because this was a year ago, I don't have any proof of it, but I do have some screenshots of the actual case. So afterward, I ended up confronting the person, and sure enough, it was a girl. She was also in her 20s, and she was playing on a VR. Obviously, these people aren't the same person. I'm just telling a story I had from a year ago. So I go on to yell at this person. I mean, not really yell, but make fun of this person like, you're weird, and that's not really a funny thing to joke about. Turns out I had gotten spam reported by her and her friends, which got me banned for over a day. Now, after this happened, I instantly reported it to Roblox. I give a short and simple report in which I state we were making fun of this woman, making pedophile jokes around the whole server. However, we did not say anything crazy or break any rules. So her friends and maybe herself spam reported me to get me banned for confronting them. Roblox really needs to fix their moderation, and to get banned this easily is dead wrong. Which it is. Now, Roblox has a absolutely massive history of letting pedophiles free, and even banning pedophile catchers. So after a couple days, they barely even give me a reply. Roblox states that they will give me a decision within 5 business days, deciding whether to handle the situation, unban me, etc. Not even a day later, 24 hours, if not less than 24 hours, they barely even give me a reply and shut me down immediately. They simply state, hi, you violated Roblox community standards, check the status of your violations here, that leads to a link. And guess what? That was it. End of story. They keep me banned, don't even bother to check the files or replay anything or investigate it further. As soon as I reported a pedophile, 24 hours, they keep me banned and don't deal with it and say nothing. So again, to go back to why I brought this up, I've had situations like this a couple of times. People like this really grind my gears, and it should for you as well. Seeing any kind of predator or PDF file in the motion is just so heartbreaking to see. And I can't help but to confront them, and I can't help but to look further into the story. And this was the first time I was actually being fed a case. I have all of the proof and can easily confront this person. Now again, I'll be gone for a couple days, so I'll have no idea what will be happening in the span of these next couple days, and I will not be able to act on it at all, which might make the situation a little juicier for us and give us even more to work with. So without further ado, fast forward a couple days, I'll see you guys there. Alright, my friends, it has been 3-4 days since I've been gone, and I am back. And let me tell you, there is a lot to uncover already. Safe to say I was right. Things definitely got way more juicier for us. It's almost unreal. So, might as well, let's go straight back to the DMs. And start from the very beginning. Before we do that, I'm going to paint a picture so you guys understand a little bit better. So I've been gone for, again, 3 to 4 days. And on my trip, I was in a hotel. Now, again, like I had said previously, there wasn't much I could do to react to the situation. Through this time of me being in my hotel, I only sent like a handful of messages and left it all alone. But when I came back, that's when things started to unfold really quickly. So on the first 2 days, these were the messages that were sent. Now, this first message I did quite a terrible job, but I wanted to be very sneaky and low-key with it. On the first day or two, this is what I said. Hey Holiday, if you could do me a big favor and screenshot what Voodoo says when you ask her why she's fake e-dating you, then send it to me, that would be great. I just want to see what she says because this is low-key wild. I felt like that was a better approach compared to saying like, hey, make sure to send me everything she says because I want to know. Holiday replies, I don't share anyone's chats. Now when I first read that, I instantly got a little suspicious. Now, I'm just going to say this right now. Maybe I overthought it, but let me know what you guys think. Because the way Holiday kind of handled the situation was a little weird to me. But again, take it as you will and let me know. A little confused, I sent a GIF. I instantly responded right after that. Could you at least tell me how she responded, as a way to finesse the answer? Because the whole goal and the whole target was just to see how Voodoo handled it. So the first approach didn't work, so again, I tried to finesse my way by saying, could you at least tell me yourself? And what do you know, it had worked. Holiday says, she just said, cause we're trolling. Well, well, well. As you guys know, if you were watching the video, we already handled this entire situation, and I almost kind of predicted this. During my breakdown, I had specifically mentioned if she ever brought up the idea of trolling, she would be way more suspicious, considering that the trolling part was already done. So there's 0 point continuing to say that you were trolling when there's nothing to troll. And it's simply just you two. The victim and the predator. Now, maybe I was in a bad mood, but I kind of decided to go off subject and stay off track and confronted Holiday just a little bit. There was a little ringing, buzzing idea that something was even more suspicious going on behind the scenes. I said, so why couldn't you have sent me a little screenshot of her saying that if you were going to tell me word for word anyway? I don't know, but I felt like she was hiding something. And again, there's almost a little side story going on. So with this side story that I'm about to read, please let me know what you think, because I have my opinion. Holiday responds, I don't know. I just don't share anyone's chats. So you're okay with telling me what's going on, but not showing me firsthand. That doesn't really make sense to me. So I just lay it out completely on the ground. That's totally not suspicious. Almost like she's not wanting to show me something. She responds with the same exact thing. What do you mean? I just don't like sharing anyone's chats. And again, at this point I'm confused because she was also a little suspicious and uncomfortable of Voodoo, but now is hiding their chats. So I tell her, so someone is acting weird. You admit that it's weird, but don't show me what she's saying to you, but still tell me in your words, and that's not sus. And what makes this even more sus is, again, because I don't like sharing chats. She keeps going on with the same exact answer. I tried different ways to approach it, explained several things, but she just keeps saying I don't like sharing anyone's chats. Not identifying any of my claims, explaining, just the same answer every time. So this conversation went on for a while, where I kept confronting her about how suspicious things were, and her denying the facts. So eventually, after all this bickering, I proceed to say, just say you're hiding something or you don't care about what she's doing. Because it got a little frustrating almost. Now, what she says completely made me just almost laugh in disbelief. And I think you're gonna find it a little crazy as well. Similar to what she said a while back, that's a girl, are you serious? Now, just a fair warning, I did become a little unprofessional from this. I went from kind of a professional confronting, trying to discover and uncloak this predator, to kind of getting a little frustrated at Holiday. because at the end of the day, that is a little sexist. She said it before and she's saying it again now, almost saying that just because it's a girl, they can't be a predator. Yeah, she's not over the age of 16, but she's not 12. So it should be common sense that it doesn't matter what your gender is, you can still be creepy and weird. And funny enough, as I was talking about this, I was scrolling through Twitter and found literally someone talking about this. Now, what I meant about me being a little frustrated, I say, oh my god, why does it matter if she's a girl? Doesn't make it right in any way. That's just called sexism. It's still weird, period. She simply responds, I don't know, okay? Now, that was the end of the side story. Let me know what you thought about it. Now, just to regather everything that happened in the side story, and the main idea of me talking about it, Holiday refused to show me what was going on with Voodoo. Didn't want to show me what they were talking about or what they were doing, but only told me the little things that we had been trying to uncover, and that was it. When I tried to dig deeper, she refused to let me, saying the same exact thing. I just don't share chats. Now the question follows. Has she ever shown or shared a chat? And the answer is yes. There's been several cases where she's shown me chats, with her and other people and even my friends, but doesn't want to show me anything or tell me anything else about Voodoo. Now, I think you're starting to see why I'm a little suspicious. The story leads to me kind of confronting her about different things, but that doesn't really matter at the end of the day. What matters right now is Voodoo. So that was it. I didn't text her for the rest of the trip until I got home. Now let me tell you, I didn't expect much, but it was a lot. And this is just everything that I need to finish up this case. So I come home and I look at my DMs. I answer my phone from other text messages, yada yada yada. Then I finally get to Discord. Now, all that was rushing through my head was Voodoo and Holiday and the whole situation. Out of my phone, and I see, I told Voodoo I'm not doing this no more. And that was it. She finally put her foot down and told Voodoo no. So I ask, well, that's good. How did she take it? And Holiday says, she just said okay. Just an okay. Nothing else. So I say, nothing else? Just okay? Has she talked to you about anything since? And she said it is okay, I get it. And again, that's it. Nothing else. Now, at this point, I was a little about it, considering that we could have gotten so much from that. But Voodoo was playing a weird game and simply just left it alone. Now, I thought, okay, finally she's doing something normal for once. Now, like all the little moments from this case, again, I was so wrong. Now, what you're about to hear and what you're about to read seemed so unreal to me, like it was just a lie. But with further proof, it's all real. After that message, she says, but guess what? And I say, what's up? Following that is a screenshot. A screenshot of thousands of Robux. Thousands. Being sent into her account in that exact moment. In absolute shock, I say, what is this? She says my Robux. Now, just to clarify, who gave that to you? Voodoo. Voodoo had given her over $300 worth of Robux into her account. And again, they haven't even known each other for over a month. It's still been, I think, a week. Not even best friends and maybe even family give each other that much money, let alone knowing them within a week. I didn't know how to respond, so I just sent a GIF. Was it a coincidence that right after she had put her foot down and told her no, that Voodoo seen she was uncomfortable and right after gave her $300 worth of Robux? I think not. Personally, I think that was on purpose. Let's see. Maybe again, I was overthinking it because everything in this whole situation and case just seems so unrealistic and so hard to figure out. But by the way Holiday reacted, my theory was almost proven. Holiday right after sent a GIF with the text, me right now, and a very jittery and happy person. Meaning that shifted the mood and the thoughts and feelings toward Voodoo. Maybe that was her plan. Maybe that's what she wanted. For Holiday not to have any other feelings towards her. Negative feelings, that is. That way they can keep talking and continue their friendship. She tells me how they did a hide-and-seek competition. We talk about the competition for a while. I didn't think much of it. They played hide-and-seek on Roblox, and that was it. But there was much more to it. After talking about it, I ask, quick question. I'm seeing too many numbers, I'm a little goofy. So how much did she give you? I was replying to the image that she sent to me, with the Robux pending. So she responds, like all, or just for hide and seek. So she had gotten a good amount of Robux from this hide and seek competition. Now, this kind of destroyed my whole theory. Maybe she won all those Robux just from the hide and seek competition. So she was very confused by what I meant. She didn't understand what I meant by, like, how much did she give you in general? Including hide and seek, and just of all time, how much has she given you? Not including the 10K from the start. So she says, 40,000, I think. Now, even me just reading this is getting my blood pumping. 40,000 Robux was given to her by Voodoo. Now, as you can see in the screenshot, she only got 35,000 Robux from the hide-and-seek competition. But Holiday is claiming that she gave her a total of 40,000, which means there was an extra 5,000 behind the scenes that we were never told about, which is $50. And that revives my theory once more. Was that to get Holiday on her good side? Even just considering the fact that within a week of knowing this girl, she gave her over $400 worth of Robux, on top of all these other creepy things that she was doing. Now, does she give this amount of money to almost all her friends that she knows? I heavily doubt that. If she gave one person $400 within a week of meeting them, she must be Elon Musk's secret daughter. But we all know that's not true. She's not giving thousands of dollars to all of her friends at the age of 20. Just to clarify, I ask, please tell me you misspelled that. She gave you 40,000 Robux? And she says, no, I spelled it right. Now, as you can see by what I meant, there was so much more that went on. So I say, I'm sorry, you're saying a person you haven't even known for a month gave you $250+ worth of Robux. And that was it. That was the last thing I had heard from Voodoo. Through Holiday, of course. Now, I don't know about you, but I think I have everything I need to confront her now. Before we move on to stage 3, let's finish off this next act with another dissection. So as I left on my trip, I try to ask Holiday to send me screenshots of how Voodoo reacts to her. Holiday refuses to show me, and only tells me one thing. All she said was, again, it was all for trolling. And as we talked about on stage 1, before I left on my trip, if she had ever said that it was for trolling, then obviously something is up, and she's even more suspicious now. Following that, after a couple days, Holiday finally puts her foot down and tells her no. And Voodoo simply responds with just okay. Okay, I get it. Now that Holiday finally spoke up and said something towards her, from the looks of it, she gives her an additional 5,000 Robux right after. And again, this is a minor we are talking about. So of course, she thought nothing of it and felt happy again. Almost forgetting about everything that's happened. So again, right after, they do a little hide and seek competition. Holiday wins and receives over $250 worth of Robux straight from Voodoo's pocket. And now at this point, Holiday is no longer suspicious of Voodoo and wants to be even better friends with her. And as we know, this is bad. Almost like Voodoo is winning the game now. She's getting what she wants. And this, again, is very bad. So I decided to do some digging. Before we continue, I went on Holiday's account and went through her friends list to see if I can find her. She has a main account and an alt account, according to Holiday. Now, if I can find Voodoo's alt account or main account, then I can dig even deeper to see if I can find something. Now, I don't know about you, but this whole thing got me feeling like L from Death Note. I'm really not that smart. If you are one of my, original subscribers and you've been watching me for a minute now, you know I'm an absolute idiot. But when I try to lock in and make my own theories and predictions, turns out I'm actually kind of right. And everything has been playing exactly how I wanted it to. Now, considering that Holiday has over 400 friends in Roblox, it would be hard to scroll through and find this predator that we were trying to catch. So I simply just look up the username, and voila, I ended up finding her. And this was her account. So thinking I'm not going to get much of it, I look through her account, and sure enough, I find out that she has a TikTok. Things are even better than I thought they could be. So I think you know where this is going. Let's investigate her TikTok. Upon looking up her TikTok, I come to find out that she has over 12,000 followers on TikTok, and a YouTube with a Discord. So, to keep digging, I continue to watch her videos. Now, my TikTok account has nothing to do with my YouTube, and she has over 12,000 followers. So even if she wanted to find my account, she wouldn't. So upon watching the videos, it's really nothing crazy. Just poorly edited videos with nothing to really see. But now I know what she sounds like. And I have complete access to her YouTube, Discord, and her TikTok. So after scrolling through her videos, I remember one thing. And this one thing got brought to me when I was watching this video of hers that reminded me. Holiday has a fake 18+ account. One day I found her playing an 18+ like Roblox bar club kind of game, and I asked her what she was doing in there. She said it's because my friends like to play it. So when I asked what friend, she said Voodoo. And obviously in this video here, we can see that exact game. So the reason of me mentioning this was because I had just made the click that Voodoo was inviting Holiday and playing with her in these 18+ like bar club games. Now, as all this is going on, I kind of get a little scared because the question gets brought to me. Does Voodoo know Holiday's real age? Could all of this been a misunderstanding? So to find out, I'm gonna ask Holiday. So I send her a text. Hey, does Voodoo know your real age or not? Okay, so it's been a couple hours, and I'm not gonna lie, my heart has been beating. This whole video, everything I've been doing these past couple of days could have been for literally nothing. And it took a while for Holiday to respond, until eventually I received a message. As I read it, it stated, she does, but she is not weird. Now let me tell you, I've never felt such joy in my life. Just thinking about how I was overthinking everything and did all this editing, just everything I've done was for absolutely nothing. And it turns out it's okay. She does know that Holiday is a minor. So we can continue with the case. I gotta retrace my steps real quick. It has been a couple hours since I have touched the recording stuff because I was waiting for an answer to see if this was for no reason, but we got our answer and we're good. So continuing with the case and going back to what we were talking about, after scrolling through her TikTok for a little bit and confirmed a couple of things, the theory of Holiday not being comfortable or whatnot was obviously proven. She's now back to saying that she's not weird and defending her again, which again is probably what Voodoo wants. Now, before we move on to stage 3, where we actually confront Voodoo ourselves, I would just like to say this one thing. Let's just say that Voodoo had no intention of being weird or creepy or whatever. It was all just a nice act. Let's just say that. It still does not explain all the actions and things she's done. One of the main ones being that she made Holiday pretend to be her e-girl. Now, again, literally anybody with some common sense and a normal brain should know that is not okay. If you're going to be in your 20s and you're saying that to a minor who's not 16, that is a big no-no. But on top of that, doing other things like giving her hundreds of dollars of Robux to satisfy her is very suspicious. Also, as well as knowing her age and confirming that, playing with her in over 18+ games is not okay as well. So when we do confront her, maybe this is just a way to remind her that she needs to watch what she's doing and understand that it's wrong. So without further ado, it's time for stage 3. We've gathered all the evidence and we've heard the stories. We know who she is, and it's time to take action. Here's how it's gonna go. I'm gonna ask Holiday to get me into a game with her, but I'm gonna have to do some lying. I want it to be something like we get into a game and we just diddle-daddle and we have fun, and try to convince her to let me have a one-on-one with her. Compared to if I take a different approach, Holiday might not let me, considering the comments I've been making recently, and the way her feelings have changed towards Voodoo. So when all that's done, and I'm finally on the one-on-one conversation with Voodoo, before I do any kind of confrontation, I'm going to ask her 3 very important questions. I'm going to put the questions in order from least confrontational to most confrontational, and then I'll get into the real confrontation. The first question I'm going to ask is, are you going to be in your 20s? Following that, the second question would be, did you fake a relationship with Holiday? And maybe I'll add, for a prank, just so she answers truthfully. And then finally, you gave her 40,000 Robux. Why? So if you can't tell what I'm doing with these questions, obviously the first question being confirming her age. And as we know, I've already been friends with Holiday, so I know her age. You faked a relationship with Holiday as a prank to confirm that she didn't make Holiday do that. And as for the final question, you gave her 40,000 Robux and why, that one's also pretty self-explanatory, just to see why she did that. From her mouth at least. And then from there is where the real confrontation begins. I'm basically just to use my instincts and talk to her and explain to her about everything that's been happening. I do have a little script to go by just to make sure I don't miss anything, and that begs the question, how will she be brought to justice at the end of the day? Now, considering the 1% chance that everything she's done, no matter how weird it was all out of just kindness and jokes, I will simply just talk to her and kind of lecture her about everything she did and give her a little warning for the future. Now, if this is taken the wrong way and she decides to block me or whatever, I did take precautions to make alt accounts that could ruin a lot of her stuff. As in an alt account on Roblox, where I can file a lot of reports and even show all the proof that will eventually get her banned permanently. As well as I have connections to her social media, like her TikTok and YouTube, that I can also take a little further. But again, this all depends on how she reacts and what she says to the whole situation. But no matter what, she will hear how much wrong she did, and she will be brought to some kind of justice. Now, I'm not sure when I'll do this, but for you guys, that will be right now. So I will see you then. Okay, you guys, it's pretty late right now, and it's been a couple hours or maybe a day since I recorded my last bit of the video. Now, as I was scrolling and investigating more Voodoo on my own time, just to see if I can find anything, I had totally forgotten that she has an alt account. So upon looking up the alt account, I find it. But the reason why I'm recording this is because I just found something absolutely insane. Look at this screenshot. Now look at Voodoo's outfit. Right? Okay, now that you see that, let's look at Holiday's outfit, shall we? Wow, isn't that super suspicious? It's almost like they are matching outfits. And as we know before, they did match outfits and they fake E-dated for a minute. Holiday tells me that they stopped doing it, but now that I'm looking at it, they are now currently matching outfits again. This just got way more deeper. So now it's completely come out that they have been hiding something from me this entire time. Almost as if they knew I was investigating. So that leaves me to one thing. Why did Holiday lie to me? Well, let's find out ourselves, shall we? So I went ahead and shot her a text, and I just flat out said, why are you matching outfits with Voodoo even after you saying you stopped? And oh my god! The way she replied is absolutely crazy! Okay, Holiday says, and I quote, she's paying me. Now, as if you couldn't already tell, I am reading these messages live. This is my live reaction to seeing this right now. Dog, screw like the investigation, screw everything else. This in general is everything we need. Is that not weird? This whole time, I had my theories completely mixed up. Almost. It wasn't that she was paying Holiday to make her feel comfortable again. It's because she was paying her to make sure that they continued to E-date. This just entered a whole new level. Everything else was super tame. At first, I was like 70-80% sure that she was guilty. I mean, at the end of the day, I knew she was guilty. But I was thinking about giving her a chance. Now, there was zero chance. She is flat out weird, and we have caught her red-handed real time. This all happened because I decided to do my own digging on my own time. If I would have left it alone, I would have never found that out. Turns out that she has been bribing her. Just to speedrun these DMs, I say, "Are you serious?" But in an inappropriate way. That's not family friendly for this channel. I end up replying saying, "Holiday, that's weird." And she says free Robux is free Robux. Now at this point, both sides are weird. So now it's gotten to a point where I'm in absolute shock, and in the heat of the moment, I confront her as well. That's also weird of you to say. Both sides are very weird. What the freak? And she says it's okay. No, it's not. At all. She continues to say, "I don't care, it's okay." Now, I don't know about you, but it is not okay. Both sides are in the dead wrong here. She's actively manipulating someone to get free Robux, completely disregarding every weird thing that's been happening, and all the pedophilia and all this different stuff for free Robux, and it refuses to acknowledge that. But on the other side, this full adult woman is bribing a minor to e-date them on Roblox. Listen, I might have to take my approach a little differently here. Even if that means joining her Voodoo's Discord server and talking to her one-on-one myself. Because screw what's going on with Holiday. Because obviously she's not going to help, and that's been confirmed. But bribing a minor firsthand to fake e-date you on an online kids game? That is not okay. So seriously this time, cut to the confrontation, because things are going to be very different. So real quick, I'm calmed down now. Just before we start the real confrontation, because at this point I'm starting to think it's not going to happen. I'm still going to try to make it happen. I think it will happen. You know, I'll find my way to do it. But just real quick, let's reveal who this person really is. Hello everybody. My name is, well, my username is Soda. My channel account is Monster Plays Soda. And the villain behind the mask, this is Brownie. The person behind everything. And in case obviously you're confused, you remember Voodoo? Voodoo is Brownie. Brownie is Voodoo. This is the Predator. This is the person who has been giving a minor hundreds of dollars within the first week of meeting them. This is also the same person who convinced a minor to fake e-date them and make them their e-girl for a troll. Now, after our victim here said no, this is the person who bribed this minor to continue to fake e-date. This is Brownie. This is Brownie. And this is Brownie. Now, again, you're probably wondering, when is the confrontation going to start? Well, I'm hoping to do it tonight. How am I going to do it? Not too sure. But in case everything goes downhill and I don't get much of a confrontation, this was the mastermind behind everything. The weirdo who bribed a minor firsthand to e-date them on Roblox. Okay, seriously this time, the next part of this video you're going to see is the actual live confrontation. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to make it happen. Again, everything from before will still be active in the confrontation. So those questions are going nowhere. So I will see you guys there. So not to disappoint you, but the whole confronting thing completely failed. But wait. I had a backup plan. So currently, as I'm making this, my backup plan is currently in motion, so I'm not sure if it's going to work or not, but I'll run you through what I did and what happened. So firstly, I'm going to start off with why I didn't confront her simply. Well, as I'm recording this as well, me and Holiday are currently no longer friends. She was a little too long gone in this whole thing, and unfortunately was completely manipulated by Brownie here. It was kind of sad to see. I've been friends with her for over 2 years now, and she's only known Brownie for like barely a month. And she chose her side, so it is what it is. Basically, I made sure to confront her as well. I called her a fake friend. From when I played with her, she is known for using people for their money. Like, she will genuinely do anything to get money. And so I think you can assume that's why she was so easily manipulated. So she chose money and a pedophile over being friends with me, and that's okay. You know, I really don't care, and I could care less. But this video is not about that. This is about Brownie. So I completely failed at trying to connect with Brownie. I had tried to convince Holiday to get me in a game with her, but again, she chose her side, and it led to this whole argument we're not going to talk about. So I couldn't do that. She had a Discord link on her account, and that Discord link is completely fried. It was invalid and it did not work. And I tried looking for another link, but there was no other links. So I had one last idea. I went on TikTok and saw that her DMs were open. So I made another email and I made an alt account. This alt account was called the Interviewer alt account, and the bio said the official YouTube contest interviewer account. About 8+ tournaments have been hosted. So my plan here was to recruit her for a quote-unquote tournament and interview her in a Discord call. And obviously, as you can tell, it's not going to be an interview for a tournament. It's going to be me exposing her. Now, last I checked, she hasn't posted in a year, I think, or in at least a couple of months. So she has not been active on her content creation at all. But she still has her links in her Roblox bio to all of her stuff. So I would assume that her notifications and DMs are still open and she can still see them and reply to them. But again, this is a last-ditch effort. So unfortunately, I hate to say that I might not even confront her at all. But at least we know that she will be brought to justice and she got exposed already. So I forgot about the very important parts. When I went into her DMs, I sent her a message. And this is what I said. Hey Brownie, I am currently on an alt account we use to gather contestants for tournaments and challenges, and thought your account looked cool to have on one of our videos. If you're interested, hit me up on my Discord, blank. And obviously it's my Discord. We actually have a time span of 3 to 6 days for you to reply before we move on to the next person, so let us know when you can. See ya and good luck. Now, again, she hasn't been active on TikTok or YouTube in quite a minute now, but still has the links to them on her Roblox account. So, assuming that she still has her DMs and notifications turned on, she will hopefully read this. And when she does, she'll hopefully accept it. So now the only thing we can do is wait. I'm going to give it about 3 days. And if I don't receive anything in that 3 days, then unfortunately, it was all a lost cause and nothing worked. She went under the radar and remained completely silent after this. So, on this next part of the video you're about to see, you will get the answer. Did she reply or did she not? I'll see you guys then. Hello, my friends. It has been 3 days. Now, to answer your question, the question is no. My plan unfortunately failed, and she never reached out. She has been inactive on her accounts other than Roblox, and she has a small friends list, so obviously if I were to try to add her, she wouldn't even accept it. So I hate to disappoint, but at least we brought her to some kind of justice, and we got her exposed. Now, on my own time, I will be filing my own reports on her to bring further justice. It's crazy to think that not only did she spend hundreds of dollars for a minor, but she also has like Roblox items that cost hundreds of dollars as well. Imagine almost being like a full grown adult over the age of 21, spending all your money on a kid's game, then ruining your whole reputation by spending it and bribing a minor. Like, what are you doing with your life, genuinely? Well, if you guys enjoyed today's video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, click that bell. And again, sorry to disappoint you guys, but I could not confront her myself personally. But she was brought to justice and she was exposed. And that's all we wanted. Just because, like, this has been on my back for a while. If you think, like, she's not 18 plus or whatever, not only has the victim themselves said that they were 19 plus, I don't have a screenshot, but I wouldn't be making this video for no reason. But she also makes her things, like, on TikTok 18 plus. And obviously, she's always playing 18 plus games. So it's obvious that she is 18 plus. And it's like, where are you getting this money from? If you're not above the age of 18 and you're spending thousands of dollars in Roblox, where are your parents? Now, I think it's safe to say that you could expect gaming videos after this. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to y'all later.